love so amazing, Jesus Messiah, name above all names, blessed Redeemer, Emmanuel, the rescue for sinners, the ransom from heaven, Jesus Messiah, Lord of all. His body the bread, His blood the wine, the broken and poured out, all for love. The whole earth trembled and the veil was torn. Amazing, love so amazing, Jesus Messiah, name above all names, blessed Redeemer, Emmanuel, the rescue for sinners, the ransom from heaven, Jesus Messiah, Lord of all. All our hope is in you. All our hope is in you. All the glory to you, God, the light of the world, Jesus Messiah, name above all names, blessed Redeemer, Emmanuel, the rescue for sinners, the ransom from heaven, Jesus Messiah, Lord of all. Jesus Messiah, the Lord of all. Lord of all, the Lord of all. I'm so glad I'm a part of the family of God. I've been washed in the fountain, cleansed by His blood. Join heirs with Jesus as we travel this song. For I'm a part of the family of God. I'm so glad I'm a part of the family of God. I've been washed in the fountain, cleansed by His blood. Join heirs with Jesus as we travel this song. For I'm a part of the family of God.
Thank y'all for the music. Psalm 143 and verse 5 will be our scripture this morning. Psalm 143 and verse 5. The psalmist said, I remember the days of old. I meditate on all that you have done. I ponder the work of your hands. Here we are, the last Sunday, the last day of another year. At the end of a year, it's really common that we look back at the previous 12 months. All of us look back and reflect on 12 months behind us and take inventory of what we did and how things went. As you look back over the last 12 months, did you have any major events to happen in your family? By chance, did you have a new birth? Or maybe this past year you had death within your family. Maybe this past year you made large purchases. I mean, a large purchase now is just going out to eat, right? If you go out to eat, that is a large purchase. But this past year, maybe you had some family turmoil. Any families ever have turmoil? Anybody ever go through, this family of mine? Have you ever thought that? Have you ever wanted to trade your family for somebody else's family? Like, I wonder where I go to trade them in. I can't find that place. Maybe there's been some reconciliation that took place over this past year. Maybe there's been some family issues that have been resolved, or maybe this past year there's been some major health issues. Isn't it amazing how quickly health issues jump up? That they come out of nowhere. I mean, they just appear. There they are. Maybe over these last 12 months, some of you changed jobs, or maybe you stayed on the same job but took on new responsibilities, or 1,000 other possibilities. At the end of every year, I think most of us reflect on those 12 months. What we did, where we went, and how things turned out. And hopefully, the year gets a passing grade. Just like individuals need to go through and check back on the past 12 months, organizations need to do the same thing. They need to reflect upon what has happened. And when I say organizations, I'm including the church in this. Churches also need to look back and see what all has happened. And so that's what we're going to do this morning. It's a little bit different kind of message. Do some reflecting this morning over these last 12 months as far as it concerns Grace Baptist Church. And I've got like 5-6 categories that I want to just kind of go over and say, look, this was the last 12 months for Grace Baptist Church. And we're going to start financially. Financially, what did these last 12 months look like for Grace Baptist Church? Well, number one, there was the unexpected expenditure of $10,000 for a new heating system. If only one side needed heating and air, we wouldn't have done it. But both sides of y'all wanted heating and air. And so we unexpectedly had to pay out $10,000 to get that new system installed. Thankfully, we had enough money in the bank to cover that. Financially, money was given to help buy paint. Done this until for this message. I went back and figured up how many gallons of paint we did buy this year. Best I can figure is about 26 gallons of paint that we have bought. And we're still going to be buying a few more gallons of paint. Thankfully, there were people who donated extra money to help buy 26 gallons of paint. Well, we also installed a camera system for live streaming, and thankfully, some of that money was donated also. We didn't have to take all of it out of our funds to be able to put the camera system up. Financially, there's been a slow increase in giving. We are receiving more money than we did 2 years ago. You remember 2 years ago? Didn't get much money coming in. We got now than we had 2 years ago. And then our Lottie Moon Christmas offering. The first Christmas I was here, I think we did $250 or something like that. Then the second year, we upped it to $350. Last year, we had like $406 given, and I think as of last Sunday, Dee Dee, we had close to 500 that had already been given, and there's more that will come in today. I know that there's some here. And so our missions giving, as far as Lottie Moon, has increased over these last 3 Christmases. So financially, we're not where I would like to see us, but financially, we're a lot further along than we were even 12 months ago. Not just financially, but in attendance. How do we look back at attendance for these 12 months? Well, as I told you 2.5 years ago, attendance for the time being and for the near future will be like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down, and it has been. And it takes a while to get steady, consistent attendance. But over this year, we have had around 10 new members or regular attenders who have started coming. That's a pretty good number for a year. And last year, I think it was around 6. So in 2 years, we have increased by like 16 new members and regular attenders, some who are not members yet, but are regular attenders. So that's a pretty good increase also. Is it where we should be? Not by any stretch of the imagination, but it's better than where we were. So we're looking back financially, we're looking back at attendance. Now let's look back at activities. What activities did we see happen this year? We had 2 ladies events. One of them was a inspirational encouragement with Blair Nodine coming to speak and then y'all eating. And then the second one was a fun event of putting wreaths together and making wreaths to go on your front door. And then you ate again. Can you imagine? Food, 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 food. But those 2 events were well attended. And just so you know, the date is already set for the next one in April, and I'll get that information out to you in the next couple of weeks as to who will be speaking and when it will be. But also we had, I think it was 2 church socials. Prior to that, they'd been hit and miss having socials. We had 2 really well-attended church socials. We had a Christmas program, first Christmas program in a few years for here at Grace. Also, activity-wise, I think it was 3 Saturdays that we helped at Breaking Bread for Jesus. We would have anywhere from 8 to 12 people that would show up to help serve there as we help the less fortunate. This year, we were able to provide some gifts for 14 children at Southeastern Children's Home. And on top of that, we donated items to the North Spartan Baptist Association for Connie Maxwell Children's Home, and also for health kits. You know, this sounds pretty good to me as I'm looking back over these 12 months. What we've done financially, what we've done in attendance, what we've done in activities, and then what we've done digitally. This year, we were able to get a new web service provider and a whole new web page. We were able to find a really great texting platform that is used every week. Didn't get used much this past week, though, did it? I'll improve. I'll get back to it tomorrow. But we were able to make headway digitally. And as I've told y'all before, between YouTube and Facebook, we probably average 150 to 200 people viewing our services every week. You know, they're viewing services at 760 Gap Creek Road in Duncan, South Carolina. And if you look at where they are viewing from, it's pretty amazing. And then the podcast, I'm finally, thankfully, hopefully, maybe getting back on somewhat of a schedule with that. Over these last 2 weeks, there have been people from 7 different countries that have listened to the podcast. There have been people from multiple states here in America, the towns. So digitally speaking, I think we're making an impact. We are sharing the gospel with the world through the podcast, through live streaming, through the YouTube, Facebook, through texting service. And so looking back at the digital part, that's been really good. And then we want to look at the renovations and repairs. We're reflecting on the year 2023. We're reflecting financial attendance activities digitally, now renovations and repairs. As I've already mentioned, the new live stream camera. It is so much better to come in on Sunday morning instead of having to set the camera up down here and get it all connected. I come in, open an app on my phone, and press live, and there we are. And the quality of the video is, I'd say it's better, but it's got the same subject matter. So I don't know how, Scotty, it might not be that much better. I mean, have I improved the looks in with the new camera? Rob, do it look better? Thank you, Jordan. It has not helped my looks, but the clarity of the picture is better. So we have the new live stream camera. Would you believe that the office copier died this year also, along with the heating and air dying, and so we had to replace that, and we went with a different kind that was not nearly as expensive, and that was what I used to make all of these devotional booklets that we're giving out, was on that. We had a major clean out of the education space. I don't know how many of y'all ever walked through the education space, say, a year ago, and looked into different rooms? But can I just lovingly say there's a bunch of stuff back there? Is that a good way to put it? There's a bunch of stuff back there. We blessed Miracle Steel with a lot of stuff. We blessed the landfill with even more stuff than we did Miracle Hill. They knew my truck, I think, at both places. But we are getting close to having a clean slate in the educational space to be able to do some things in the future. So there's a major clean out. Now, we did a major clean out in the social hall last year. And we did a little more clean out this year, and probably some more coming this coming year. The majority of the education space has been painted. I would estimate at 85 to 90%. My goal was to have it all done by the end of December, but things changed. Did y'all know that things change rapidly sometimes? And so the painting had to get postponed, but hopefully in January we're going to get back to the painting, and we'll be able to complete that part of it. The new church sign painted. Y'all remember when it was still that blue? It reminded me of a blue Christmas when I would see that blue. It's not blue anymore. New inserts in it. It looks really good at night. Anybody ever ride by here at night? There ain't nobody getting out at night out of this congregation. Elena, you should be riding through over here at night just looking. You don't have anything to do. So, but it looks really good at night when you ride by, so that is great. Remember several months ago, a bunch of us met here and painted outside doors? Wasn't that fun, painting all those outside doors that hadn't been painted since Noah was a baby? We got them all painted and looking better, and Kim and Danny really worked on the front doors out there and the archway. I mean, that Danny had his gloves on and that paintbrush, and he was going to it, wasn't he? Kim was just giving him, say, good job, Danny. No, she had a paintbrush too. All the sidewalks got pressure washed. Dee Dee, she is a pressure washing queen. If you have any pressure washing you need done at your house, let me know, and I will give you her personal number. And she will bring that pressure washer, and she will she'll get it done. That's therapy. You don't have to think about anything, do you? Or you can pretend who you're shooting with the with the wand. So all of that got done. I've already mentioned heating and air and Wi-Fi thermostats. I can set it to house, turn the thermostats on, thermostats off, change the heat to air, the air to heat. It's uptown. Instead of waiting till I get here to see what we need to do, but no matter what I do, this time of the year when I come in, Dee Dee says, "It's hot." Yeah, Rob, you're the same way. I'm surprised you're not wearing your shorts today. I'm surprised. And then the auditorium, bottom of the auditorium painted. I ran across some pictures the other day from a year ago, and it was like, yeah, it was gold, wasn't it? But now it's not. And so it looks a little bit different in here. It's amazing what paint does. Paint makes so many things look better if you use a little bit of paint on it. Well, I don't know about you, but as I tried to recap these 12 months, I really had to stop and think, it's been a pretty impressive year for Grace. Especially when you think about a little over 2 years ago. None of this could have been said a little over 2 years ago. And to look at, in black and white, what has happened just over this year, I think is encouraging. And sometimes we lose sight of all of it because it's done in small steps. This has been done over a 52-week period of time. And some of the stuff even dates back to last year that we first started working on some items. And so when you do stuff in small steps, you don't think about the large amount that has been done. And so I felt like it would really be great to try to bring all of it together this morning and say, hey, y'all, this is the takeaway from what I'm saying. God has been good to Grace Baptist Church. Would you agree? God has been good to Grace Baptist Church. There are so many churches, smaller membership churches, who are struggling just to keep the doors open. And y'all remember, 2 years ago, God has been good to Grace. Is this as good as it's going to get? I don't think so. I think better things are yet to come. But I do believe it's been a really good year that I'm really thankful for. You know, one little thing I didn't put in here that maybe I should have, y'all actually voted me in as pastor back in June. How many regrets have you had? We'll talk about that after service. But when I look back, that is the highlight of the year for me, that God had a plan for me, and God placed me here, and so y'all got to put up with me. When I first went to Alverson Grove as pastor, it was about the third Sunday I was there, I guess it was. This heavy, big-boned woman. Let's just say this big-boned woman came to the door. You know, back then we didn't have COVID and flu and 9,000 other diseases, and we shook hands and all of that stuff way back, you know, right after the ark when we did that kind of stuff. But I was at the front door, and Miss Louise Ridings grabbed my hand and said, "Preacher, my name is Louise Ridings, and I guess if you can put up with me, I can put up with you." She did not remember saying that years later when I reminded her. She said, I said, "You did, but we did." I mean, she was a sweetheart. But I'll never forget her saying, "If you can put up with me, I guess I can put up with you." And so that's what we're doing right now. We're putting up with each other. Kind of like Louise and myself did with each other all of those years ago. And so I just think that Today is a good time for us to close out this year. I mean, seriously, closing out the year, the last day of the year, the last Sunday of the year. Don't you think it'd be a good day to gather around the altar and say, God, you have been so good to Grace Baptist Church. And we just want to thank you for all that you have done. If you'd like to join me in doing that, would you come together here at the altar as we thank God for all of his blessings? On next Sunday, today we're looking back. Next Sunday we're going to look forward. But today is a time of remembrance. A time of just thanking God for all of his blessings as we gather here. Brother Greg Parker, would you pray for us and with us, please?
Let's pray. Lord, we just, first and foremost, we want to thank you for who you are. You're high and mighty, lifted up, Lord, that you are not only the creator of this world, but the sustainer of this world. Thank you so much for the things that you've done just in this past year, God. And just in our life altogether, Lord, first and foremost, we thank you for our salvation, God, that you've seen a day and a time when you reached down, God, and saved someone that was so undeserving, Lord. We just thank you for that. We thank you for your word. We thank you that as we step into 2024, God, may we establish ourselves in your word.
Yes.
We read, study, pray, God, seek your face, and on behalf of not only ourselves, God, but on behalf of our family members, Lord, that don't know you, that will seek your face for them, God, that they might come to the understanding and knowledge, the saving grace of Jesus, Lord. God, we just thank you for Jesus. We thank you for the sacrifice.
Yes.
We thank you for all this. We thank you for the remembrance of you, Lord, as we go into 2024. All the things that you've done for Grace, all the things that you've done in our families,